In the city of Berlin, situated in Germany, the story unfolds during the harsh winter of 1942, amidst the turmoil of war. It all begins on the 20th of January, where a significant gathering takes place in a grand villa located in the expansive Wannsee area. The attendees of this meeting consist of high-ranking officials from the SS, the Nazi Party, and the ministerial bureaucracy. Among the distinguished guests is Heydrich, the leader of the Reich Security Main Office, who receives a breakfast invitation upon his arrival. The purpose of this gathering is explicitly referred to as the final solution to the Jewish question. Although the Führer himself is not physically present, his influence is palpable and lingers throughout the room. One of the individuals in attendance is Adolf Eichmann, and overseeing the meeting is Gruppenführer, the head of the Reich Security Main Office. Gruppenführer is determined to ensure a smooth and uninterrupted flow of the meeting, keen on advancing the agenda with minimal disruptions. As the room is being prepared for the attendees, Gruppenführer discreetly adjusts the placement of a bureaucrat's name card to a less prominent position on the table, expressing his disapproval. However, shortly thereafter, the name card is returned to its original place, hinting at a possible display of resistance or disagreement. Upon entering the mansion, the attendees are greeted by members of the SS, who maintain strict control over the environment. Due to a delay in Heydrich's arrival, they are required to wait, engaging in breakfast and casual conversations. In the midst of this, Gruppenführer instructs Eichmann to make arrangements for a trip to the zoo, likely as a diversion or respite from the intensity of the meeting. Despite their lack of interest in participating in the conference, Dr. Schongrath finds himself in a meeting with Sturmbannführer. In an effort to acquaint him with the other attendees, Schongrath takes the time to introduce Sturmbannführer to everyone, providing information about their personalities and positions. Meanwhile, within the mansion, there are discussions and rumors circulating about Sturmbannführer and also Heydrich. At this juncture, Heydrich finally arrives and assesses the situation. Gruppenführer takes the opportunity to inform Heydrich about the attendees' sentiments regarding the meeting. Heydrich proceeds to greet everyone, expressing his apologies for the delay. He invites Dr. Sturmbannführer and Mr. Luther to his office, where they discuss the announcements from other countries and the data concerning the removal of Jews from various states. Heydrich acknowledges Sturmbannführer's efforts and expresses gratitude for them. Subsequently, the participants enter the conference room, only to find that Gauleiter has offensively rearranged his seat. Just as tensions rise, Heydrich enters the room and commences the conference. He proceeds to introduce each state leader to one another, emphasizing the importance of their collaboration. Heydrich also announces that they will be required to stay at the venue for an entire day to prevent any external disturbances. Additionally, he mentions the fees that will be charged for their accommodation and services during their stay. Dr. Ferzeler expresses doubts about the timing of the assignment, questioning why it was dated back to the previous year and is only taking place now. Heydrich, who holds the position of Deputy National Protector, takes notice of this concern. He shares his observations regarding the Czech offer, noting their stubborn resistance. It becomes evident that many of the attendees mock the Czechs, perceiving them as having a mindset of slavery. Heydrich interrupts the conversations and proceeds to provide a briefing on the challenges they face as higher-ranking officials, particularly concerning military developments and the involvement of other countries. It is revealed that the decisions made during this conference will be implemented for all Jews across Europe. Furthermore, Heydrich asserts that the Jewish question will be considered resolved through a process of total biological cleansing, which is their ultimate goal. Before they delve into the discussions, Dr. Stuckart requests a brief introduction of Dr. Sturmbannführer, since he is unfamiliar to the group. It is revealed that Dr. Sturmbannführer holds the position of Head of Security and Intelligence Service in Latvia, and they discuss how Estonia is now considered a state free of Jews. They collectively view Judaism as the force behind instigating the war against Europeans, and their actions are seen as a defensive response. However, Dr. Sturmbannführer acknowledges the moral dilemma they face in forcibly removing Jews and subjecting them to freezing conditions, leading them to opt for transportation instead. Additionally, they debate the issue of providing food for the Jewish population, considering the wartime circumstances they find themselves in. Furthermore, it is decided that the implementation of the plan will extend beyond geographical boundaries in Europe. The authority to solve this problem is entrusted to the National Security Supervisory Board. Heydrich proceeds to brief the attendees on the next point of discussion. Since 1933, they have been engaged in a battle against Judaism, and now the Jewish race is seen as a foreign entity by the German people. They discuss the presence of approximately 500,000 Jewish immigrants. The Jewish laws, particularly the Exodus, have had a detrimental impact on Jews themselves and have influenced societies, providing legal justification for their removal from German society. Following this, the attendees begin to delve into the details of the plan, examining the concentration of Jewish populations using maps. They explain the current situation of various states, highlighting the distribution of Judaism across countries. Data and statistics are provided for each country, with the reliability of the information confirmed by the Foreign Affairs Officer. In regard to the decision, the focus shifts to how to control and transport the 11 million Jews. Heydrich explains that the transportation plan involves moving them from west to east. The evacuated Jews will initially be taken to designated transit ghettos, from where they will be transported by trains. Heydrich emphasizes the importance of considering them as valuable assets and mentions that the expenses for the transportation, including the costs of soldiers and troops involved, should be covered in the same manner. He underscores that fighting against the Jewish population is not a luxury but an integral part of the overall war effort. Despite the ongoing tension of the war along all borders, the attendees of the conference see it as an opportunity rather than an obstacle for transporting Jews. During the tea break, Eichmann, the Jewish advisor at Agency FEB4 responsible for registering and deporting Jews, discusses the plan, suggesting a cost of 50 Reichsmark per person to cross the borders with their belongings. However, one of the attendees raises doubts about the idea, citing the 11th Ordinance, as it seems inhumane to deport people while simultaneously seizing their assets. Since crossing the border directly is not entirely permitted, the attendees find reassurance in the bureaucratic formalities and coordination by the transport minister. Although the hosting states, as ports, may not be willing, it appears that things will remain unchanged, and the focus of the discussion shifts to determining the number of people to be transported at once. Technically, the plan revolves around optimizing the existing process by utilizing trains that are already transporting Russian workers to the kingdom. This involves essentially exchanging Jews for Russians in the trading process. The issue arises as one attendee explains that the Jewish population consists of skilled workers who are familiar with the deportation process and know how to handle it. Bringing in unskilled Russians would not be profitable. Furthermore, during the final solution for Jews, they were promised special treatment. However, the plan entails transporting them to the east, where they will not negatively impact the economy, but instead contribute to major skilled tasks, such as constructing roads for new territories. They realize that the current burdens they face will eventually turn into advantages and bring happiness to future generations. They understand that this is their final opportunity to find a solution to the Jewish question. The next topic of discussion revolves around Jews who are unable to work, such as the elderly, as well as Jews who fought for Germany during the war. Eichmann provides information about the age range of these individuals and mentions that considerations will be made for those who were wounded during the war. It is decided that they will be taken care of alongside the elderly, and the construction progress is noted as positive. After discussing these matters and gaining a general understanding of the plan, the meeting takes a break. They move to a larger room to continue their discussions. During the break, they enjoy snacks and engage in casual conversation. Eichmann brings up the protocol from the conference room, possibly referring to the official documentation of the meeting. They also reminisce about a past experience they shared, specifically a music night, and express gratitude towards each other. In the meantime, a Gauleiter engages in a conversation with another attendee, expressing that the conference seems to consist of 1/3 of a plan and 2/3 of chaos. It becomes clear that all the states are eager to rid themselves of their Jewish populations, with little concern for their well-being. It seems that nobody wants to accept the label of being Jewish. Eventually, Dr. Freisler joins the conversation and confirms that the Gauleiter had recently attended a meeting at the Führer's house, expressing his hope to be in the good graces of the Führer during their future meeting. Meanwhile, in the office, Heydrich is busy signing letters. A Gruppenführer informs him that despite the attendees' lack of belief in the plan and their reluctance to acknowledge its necessity, they have accepted it. Heydrich realizes that there are still some unresolved topics and mentions the need to keep an eye on Dr. Stuckart, implying that he should be monitored closely. In the salon, an attendant deliberately tries to provoke Dr. Frank by mentioning that they will be accepting thousands of Jews from the eastern part of the state. The attendant attempts to tempt Dr. Frank, suggesting that he is doing this to gain recognition from the leadership of Heydrich. Outside the mansion, Kritzinger engages in a conversation with Dr. Sturmbannführer, deliberately criticizing their actions towards women and children in an attempt to undermine their values. However, the discussion takes a turn when Dr. Schongrath arrives and highlights Kritzinger's own actions as a soldier, pointing out that he caused misery misery by killing fathers and husbands of families. This counterattack exposes the contradictory nature of Kritzinger's stance, leading him to leave the conversation feeling offended. Fortunately, the conference continues indoors, focusing on essential matters such as determining which groups are eligible for evacuation. They also discuss the complexities surrounding Jews of mixed race and those involved in intermarriage. These central questions aim to provide clarity and guidance regarding the treatment of these individuals during the evacuation process. Stuckart, right from the beginning, tries to defend the idea that Jews should be given the right to choose regarding their own laws. However, the situation takes a sudden turn when Heydrich calls Dr. Luther, Eichmann, and Gruppenführer out of the meeting room for a private conversation. Heydrich seeks clarification from Eichmann regarding the number of Jewish men remaining. It is revealed that there are no Jewish men left, requiring a shift in the decision-making process. Additionally, Luther is assigned the responsibility of handling the case in Serbia. Upon their return to the meeting room, Heydrich tasks Dr. Klopfer with announcing the party's decision. It is revealed that individuals who are half Jewish or quarter Jewish from mixed race should be considered Jewish and included in the evacuation plans. However, Dr. Stuckart opposes this decision, arguing that it contradicts the fundamental laws of the country and that these individuals have German blood, making them part of the German race. The Foreign Affairs officer reassures everyone that this decision is acceptable, and the Marshal Ministers and Minister of Interior isolate themselves to deliberate on the matter. Dr. Stuckart's reasoning leaves them all confused about what decision to make. He suggests either leaving the case as it is or implementing his own idea, which involves intermarriage and the sterilization of half-Jews. In the meantime, Heydrich requests another break, specifically asking for a discussion with Dr. Stuckart. While everyone else goes to grab snacks, Eichmann instructs the protocol to attach the document regarding mixed race to the records. Once they are back in the office, a heated debate ensues regarding the sterilization method. Dr. Stuckart acknowledges that not every German shares his viewpoint. Unexpectedly, the nature of the argument shifts, and they begin engaging in personal conversations that reveal a sense of familiarity and connection. They express desires to live near each other, like neighbors, and discuss various topics. Outside the meeting room, rumors continue to circulate during the break chats. When they reconvene for the meeting, after numerous debates and arguments, they eventually reach a consensus on the decision. Heydrich reminds them all to further discuss the matter in their respective areas and assures them of his support through the IVB4 advisory. The movie concludes as everyone departs in their cars from the mansion's compound. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.